Hey guys, welcome back. It's Neon, and big news today on the Vic Mignogna situation. Vic Mignogna officially suing Funimation as well as a handful of voice actors associated with Funimation. And the real big surprise in all of this is that Anime News Network is freaking covering it. It's amazing. It's amazing that they are actually covering it. But something is really interesting. Here on this page, right before we start talking about it, they're begging for money. We need your help. Good journalism costs money, and advertising doesn't bring in what it used to. For just $1 a month, you too can help secure Anime News Network's future. Do you think they're panicking a little bit? This article, it seems like they're panicking a little bit. Geeky and I read it, and she pointed out that this is not so much them covering the fact that Vic Mignogna has filed papers against, has filed a lawsuit against Funimation, Monica Rial, Jamie Marchi, and Ron Toye, but that they're trying to get out of it, right? To absolve themselves of any wrongdoing, when we all know the Anime News Network were the ones, smacking the beehive, stirring things up, using what I believe to be fabricated evidence to drive home the fact that, Vic is allegedly touching underage girls without their consent. And then we found out that, some of the photos they used were not used in context. They were actually taken completely out of context. So this might be the first volley. It might be that Funimation is first, and then Vic will continue to sue other parties, including Anime News Network, including Rooster Teeth. We don't know what's going to happen, but I'm very surprised that Anime News Network actually went there. They actually went there. So we'll talk about their story, and then we'll take a look at the paperwork, and we'll talk about some other things going on around the internet with the Vic Mignogna situation. Again, we try to be balanced here on CLOWNFISH TV. We haven't officially taken any kind of a side. We just want the truth. We want the truth. If someone is actually legitimately responsible for harassment, then I would hope that charges would be filed and that they would be found guilty. From where we are sitting here at CLOWNFISH TV, it looks like there's a lot of weirdness around the Vic Mignogna situation, and even if there are legitimate complaints, they get buried under a bunch of falsified evidence, rumors, scuttlebutt, hearsay, so we need to see something a little more concrete. Okay, so here we go. Anime News Network. Vic Mignogna sues Funimation, Jamie Marchi, Monica Rial, and Ronald Toye. So, voice actor claims defamation, interference in business, civil conspiracy over sexual harassment investigation. Voice actor Vic Mignogna filed a lawsuit against the anime distributor Funimation, voice actresses Jamie Marchi and Monica Rial, and Rial's fiance Ronald Toye, whom the lawsuit alleges is either a Funimation agent or employee. Now, Toye, as I understand it, I do not follow the day-to-day Twitter drama, but as I understand it, Toye was out there saying that he had access to private Funimation business, which is probably why they put this in there. Okay, so it's filed on Thursday. In Texas, Mignogna claims defamation, interference in existing contracts and prospective business relations, and civil conspiracy over the defendant's Twitter posts and Funimation's investigation against Mignogna for alleged sexual harassment. Mignogna is seeking monetary relief over $1 million, in part due to Funimation no longer contracting him for future productions, as well as conventions canceling his appearances. Mignogna and his lawyer are also seeking judgment against the defendants for actual, consequential, and punitive damages. According to the claims, it amounts to be determined on the final hearing, pre- and post-judgment interest at the highest rate permitted by law. Wow. And costs of court, in addition to such other and further relief to which he may be justly or equitably entitled in general relief. You got to realize, Mignogna was an A-list voice actor in the anime dub community, right? He was an A-lister. He was probably getting a very high rate for his performances, relatively speaking. Plus, he did a lot of conventions. Now, his convention appearances were canceled, and we're not just talking about damage done to him this year. We're talking that his career has probably been irreparably damaged at this point. So we're talking, Vic is in his mid 50s, I believe. I mean, he might be looking for enough money to retire on. It's very possible. And Funimation, they're part of Sony now. They've got deep pockets. I don't know what's going to happen. This is interesting to watch. So we're going to talk about Anime News Network's angle here, because there's always an angle with Anime News Network. Always an angle, as they're begging for money to keep it on the air, right? To keep it live, keep the site live. Mignogna is represented by Ty Beard of Beard Harris Bullock Hughes in Tyler, Texas. A lawsuit alleges that Sony executive Tammy Dembo told Mignogna in mid-January she was investigating 3 allegations of sexual harassment against him. We'll talk a little more about what those actual incidents were. And then January 29th, Dembo and another Sony executive informed Mignogna that his employment with Funimation was terminated following an investigation. Dembo is listed on LinkedIn as Executive Director, Employee Relations at Sony Pictures Entertainment. So she's HR. Sony Pictures Television Networks acquired a majority stake in Funimation in October 2017. The lawsuit mentioned that on February 5th, 2019, Funimation informed Anime News Network, this is where it gets interesting, Funimation informed Anime News Network that Vic's employment had been terminated. And ANN says, ANN did not report on February 5th that Mignogna's employment had been terminated, but reported that he was recast in the English dub of the Morose Mononokean 2 anime. Well, actually, that sounds like his employment's been terminated and he's being replaced. Funimation posted a public statement on Twitter on Friday 11th that it would not engage Mignogna on future productions. Sounds to me, again, armchair observation, that Anime News Network has insider information, and that they were sort of, cackling with delight that this happened. We don't think highly of Anime News Network. They actually came after us, and other YouTubers said that we were Nazis for even covering the situation and even giving Mignogna the benefit of the doubt, and or saying, hey, we're going to wait for some evidence before we, toss a dude under the wheels of the bus. Mignogna has been accused by a number of con attendees of kissing and embracing them without consent over the course of his career, with some allegations dating back to 2008. Why has no one pressed charges? These allegations spread on social media earlier this year. Convenient timing, too. Fellow voice actors have publicly issued anecdotes of their personal experiences with Mignogna or support for those speaking out via social media. Rooster Teeth has replaced Mignogna on Ruby, and we'll talk a little bit about Rooster Teeth and what's going on over there. Many of Mignogna's convention appearances have been canceled. Yeah, that's part of this $1 million in damages, right? Because he can't do conventions. These guys like Mignogna make a ton of money at conventions. They probably make more money on conventions than they do doing the actual voice acting. So it's a huge part of his income was lost because of, this debacle. Mignogna issued an apology at the Back Anime event in early February and posted a public statement later that month. On February 21st, Mignogna posted another statement on Twitter that read, "I've now very reluctantly retained a law firm as my last and only recourse in an attempt to salvage my reputation and my 20-year career in the industry." That's right. Once you've been accused, you're damaged goods. And if Vic, is truly innocent and he doesn't fight back, he's done. He is in his mid-50s, I believe. What else is he going to do? He's done. So he is fighting back. Now, real quick, this is Anime News Network, and Geeky and I were talking about this. She's not on this episode because she has a very bad cough, and she was coughing all through a live stream last night, and she's like, just do it without me, because I'm just going to cough the whole way through it, and it's going to make you a lot of work. But she did point out that this is basically Anime News Network, not covering this because it's news, but using it as a way to just be like, nuh-uh, that's not what we did. That's not what we did. We had nothing to do with it. We had nothing to do with it. So, news that broke when we were away, we were at Star Wars Celebration in Chicago, and the president of Rooster Teeth stepped down. Now, this is Ezra Cooperstein, who's worked with Fullscreen and Maker Studios, and he took over Rooster Teeth a couple of years ago, and now he's out. He's out. So, it's interesting that he's jumping ship now, right? Because Rooster Teeth was another party that was involved in terminating Vic Mignogna. I'm not saying the two are connected. They may not have anything to do with one another, but I have to put the tinfoil hat on and wonder if, since Funimation is absolutely being sued and they may wind up losing, over $1 million, since they're being sued, if somebody at Rooster Teeth or at Warner Brothers is like, dude, the Vic termination happened on your watch, throw yourself on your sword, and we're going to get somebody else in here. Or it could just be part of, all this restructuring going on at Warner Brothers, at Otter Media, or whatever it is, it's Crunchyroll and Full Screen and Rooster Teeth. They could be doing some restructuring. It was a good time for him to exit stage right, or he got another job. The timing is weird. Again, I don't know exactly what's going on, but I have to wonder if somebody at Warner Brothers is like, oh my God, Funimation's getting sued, Sony's getting sued. We don't want to be sued. We're going to toss you overboard. We're going to toss you overboard before that happens. So he's not saying what he's going to do. He's not saying what he's doing next. So he's leaving on April 26th. So here is, and I will put a link to this, here is the paperwork. Here's the paperwork. Here is the original petition. This is the lawsuit right here. Now, I am not a lawyer. Nick Rekieta is a lawyer, and I will put a link to his live stream he did last night where he goes blow by blow and breaks all of this down for all of you. He had Ty Beard, who is Vic's lawyer, on before that, and they break this down and explain some of the legalese. I'm giving you the nickel tour because I'm not a lawyer, and it's going to take hours and hours and hours to break this down. We'll give you the basics here. So here's who is being sued. Funimation Productions, LLC, so Funimation is being sued. Jamie Marchi is being sued. Monica Rial is being sued. And Ronald Toye is being sued. These three are having a field day on Twitter, or have had a field day on Twitter. I do not know. I did not watch all of Rekieta's streams. I watched bits and pieces of it, trying to gather what's going on. I don't know if this is the extent of Vic's lawsuits, or if he's going to come after other organizations that, like, they're lumping these guys together because they're all associated with Funimation. Then he may move on to Rooster Teeth, and he may move on to Anime News Network. I don't know. But the fact that they're naming these individuals tells me that these three in particular are the shitsters. These are the three that they're placing blame on for Vic's career being tanked. So, plaintiff Vic Mignogna complains of defendants Funimation Productions, Jamie Marchi, Monica Rial, and Ronald Toye for such purposes as would show. So we're talking about, here's how everything is, where everybody is, where they're located. And they explain Funimation. They explain what Funimation does. This is very much for normies, I guess. They explain the animation industry. They explain how dubs work. They explain Twitter. Down here, they explain Twitter, which is really interesting. And then they kind of break down what actually went down. Here's what actually went down. So on January 16th, the day that Dragon Ball Super Broly released to the US, Monica liked and retweeted the tweet of someone with the Twitter handle of Han Leia that accused Vic of being a homophobic, rude asshole who has been creepy to underage female fans for over 10 years. In quotes, again, explaining Twitter for people, judge or jury who doesn't understand what Twitter is. Next day, Monica liked and retweeted two tweets by Kaylin Saucedo, Mars Girl, that accused Vic of great volumes of sexual misconduct, urged Funimation to reconsidering hiring Vic as a voice actor in the future, and initiated the hashtag of #KickVic. The repeated attention that Monica, Jamie, and even Funimation's agents, employees, or business partners gave Han, Leia, and Mars Girl's accusations caused their tweets to go viral. And then we have to explain what that means. About the same time, one or more defendants began actively defaming Vic directly to anime conventions, speaking of investigations and Vic being fired. This is kind of how this all went down. It was all Twitter hearsay, Twitter gossip that led to articles being written that led to Vic being fired. Barely a week later, Tammy Dembo, a Sony executive, informed Vic she was investigating 3 allegations of sexual harassment against him. Now get this. One, Monica alleged to have occurred 6 years prior at a convention, not in a Funimation or Sony facility or event, when after she wrote her name on a jelly bean and gave it to him, Vic ate the jelly bean and joked that he ate Monica. Vic denied any sexual suggestion. He was joking in response to a fan's asking if he could be poisoned by the ink. Another alleged inappropriate conduct between Vic and two fans, not Funimation or Sony employees, at a convention 3 years prior. Again, not at a Funimation or Sony facility. Vic empathetically denied any inappropriate conduct. The third allegation involved a single consensual kiss between Vic and a Funimation employee who was Vic's friend. Dembo telling Vic that her investigation was a confidential matter did not stop Jamie, Monica, Ronald, or other Funimation employees or business partners from urging anime conventions and other studios to terminate their contracts with Vic, telling some that Funimation was conducting an investigation, quote-unquote, into allegations that Vic was a sexual predator or that charges were being filed against Vic, and that he would soon be arrested, or tweeting details about the investigation, in quotes. For example, Ronald would tweet on February 2nd that Vic is a predator, based on his quote-unquote insider knowledge about Sony's investigation. The fallout from the defendant's actions was swift. On January 18th, the Phoenix Fan Fusion Convention canceled his appearance. A few days later, Ronald tweeted that Vic was a predator. Shortly after, the Rangers Stop convention canceled Vic's appearance. So these guys basically took to Twitter and they beat the drum and beat the drum and beat the drum until Vic's livelihood was cut off piece by piece by piece. On January 29th, Dembo and another Sony executive informed Vic that his employment with Funimation was terminated following Dembo's investigation. On January 30th, both Anime New York City and Anime Milwaukee canceled his appearances. On January 31st, Ronald Toye claimed to know of at least 4 assaults by Vic and crowed, "I'm glad to see conventions canceled." On that day, Kawaii-Con canceled his appearance. Yeah, I mean, it was like daily. His convention appearances were being terminated. Now, it's interesting that in this, they actually throw up screenshots of the tweets. They actually throw up, I don't think I've ever seen this before. They actually throw up screenshots of the tweets. Ron Toye, he's down because he took advantage of girls, buddy. How about get a grip on reality and stop harassing people? Over 100 accounts and still more to come, and you defend this sack of shit. Get a life. On February 5th, Funimation informed Anime News Network that Vic's employment had been terminated. Okay, this is what they're taking an issue with. So it's just crazy. So Jamie Marchi jumps in here on the 6th of February. Yes, I want his head. I want his balls. I want him to feel an ounce of the pain he's caused others and then fucking choke on it. I want you to take his dick out of your ears so you know you can actually hear reality. But you know, that's just me. That's just me. So what about innocent until proven guilty? And Jamie Marchi replies, works in a court of law, sometimes name and shame. Name and shame is the fastest way to the courtroom. Well, it looks like you're going to get your wish, Jamie. Looks like you're going to get your wish because you guys are going to court. More tweets. Here's Funimation. Again, this didn't have to go down this road. They could have just said, hey, guys, Vic's not going to be in Morose Mononoke in Season 2, or just not say anything, right? They could have just not said anything, but they give a blow-by-blow of what was going on. Everyone wanted to give you an update on the Vic situation. Following an investigation, Funimation recast Vic in Morose Mononoke in Season 2. Funimation will not be engaging Mignogna in future productions. Sounds to me like he's been terminated. Part of our core mission. Okay, so that should have been enough, but now they go into details. Part of our core mission is to celebrate the diversity of the anime community and to share our love for this genre and its positive impact on all. We do not any kind of harassment, do not tolerate any kind of harassment or threatening behavior being directed at anyone. Edit, we do not condone any kind of harassment or threatening behavior. Okay. Monica Rial, there were multiple investigations with testimony, proof, and evidence. Companies don't cut ties without those things. However, that information is classified. Well, it didn't sound very classified. It sounds like you're out there broadcasting it. I'm one of dozens of men and women who participated. Stop harassing me. So this goes on and on and on and on. Like I said, if you want a breakdown by a lawyer, I will put a link to Nick Recada's stream in the description, and I'm also going to put a link to this. You can read it for yourself. Yeah, so Vic is on the warpath. He's on the warpath. We'll see how this plays out. You know, if nothing else, the fact that you can be sued for saying stupid shit on Twitter, on social media, might make some of these Twitter idiots, pause a little bit before attacking people without proof. People have lost their jobs over Twitter. We're seeing it in comic books now. People are being attacked constantly on Twitter. And the fact that that there can be blowback in the form of legal action, very expensive legal action, might make these people stop and think, should I actually attack this person? Should I actually go out there and spout off things that may or may not be true that could potentially affect a person's livelihood? Am I willing to take that chance? We've seen it in comics, we've seen it in gaming, we saw it on YouTube, we saw it with Jeremy Hambley getting punched in the head by somebody who didn't like his YouTube channel. Very, very stupid people online, and I think we're going to see more of this. As they continue to be stupid, they're going to get hit with court action. So we don't know how this is going to play out. It doesn't look to me like at least the individuals have much of a case, but they're blaming Funimation. Funimation, the shit may roll downhill, and they will look at Jamie Marchi and Monica Rial and Ron Toye and be like, you guys are not worth our time anymore, and we're going to cut ties with you as well. If it were my company, with all the drama going on Twitter, I would have reined these people in and said, stop it, just stop. We did our thing, stop it. But no. And this is absolutely going to damage Funimation's reputation. So not everybody is thinking that what Vic is doing is good, or that Vic is going to win. So went out to ResetERA, ResetERA, that fantastic forum, and there are people thinking that Vic's lawsuit is frivolous, that he's not going to win, that these people are not going to lose. This is really interesting. As of yesterday. Don't even start talking with both sides of this shit. Fucking hell. Man, I figured we'd be well past getting defenders in here. Those low post count accounts coming out of the boardwork I see. Burner accounts. How dare anybody defend Vic here? Wow, he got banned again. Okay, so proceeds. Okay, they're talking about people who are, here's Mars Girl. I mean, yeah, I said shit I'm not proud of. This is yesterday, 10 years ago. Apologized for it many times. I'm not expecting people to like me or even forgive me. I'm totally okay with that. Regardless, the shitty things I said 10 years ago have literally nothing to do with Vic. It's like, how dare you? Okay, so this happened. Yeah, yesterday at 8:30. So apparently this is going down from YouTube's YouTube lawyer's Twitter. That would be Nick Rekieta. They're getting sued. Are they seriously doing this shit? What possible case do they have? His livelihood was completely destroyed by alleged rumors and behind the scenes meddling. That's what possible case he has, right? This will get laughed out of court. Sounds like a perfect waste of everyone's time. Honestly shocked they took it this far. What's their case though? What kind of broad-ass lawsuit are they trying to sell? Funimation did nothing in itself to defame Vic. They simply did an internal investigation and decided to cut ties. The thing is, they may have cut ties based on false information, or they may have colluded with these individuals, people at Funimation, to get him fired. And that's what this lawsuit is probably going to look at and be like, is Funimation at fault for this? Funimation was the first. Were they the first, or was it? I think it was Rooster Teeth. I think Rooster Teeth might have actually fired him first, if I remember correctly. But, the fact is, all of these people who are, constantly hammering on Vic on Twitter are associated with Funimation. Interesting. So the purpose of the lawsuit might even be, well, one, Funimation's got money. They can give Vic, $1 million if he wins. And the other thing is that it might just be a warning shot, a shot across the bow to be like, look, these companies need to rein these individuals who are associated with them in, or they are going to find themselves on the receiving end of a lawsuit. Even if they defend themselves, it's going to be expensive. Then they talk about Nick Rekieta, the blackface lawyer thing. It just goes on and on and on. I will put a link to this, but I think it's funny. These people, they don't think this is serious. They don't think this actually can go to court. Who has more money, Vic or Funimation, Sony? Yeah, Funimation might just throw money at him to stop this. I don't know. Vic is so effed. He actually believes the hype fanboy man-children place on him? This should be fun. Holy shit, they're so fucked if that's their smoking gun. There's no court on earth that would side with Vic. Nobody would side with Vic because we don't think it's illegal. Because Vic's toxic. Because we've heard Vic is toxic. Nobody would actually take this serious. Oh my God, Mars Girl, $1 million. God, God. Okay, so yeah, this is going to court. That's the news. That's the news, guys, and we will report on facts. We'll report on facts, and it's so funny. You report on facts, and I'm gonna leave it on this one here. We report on facts, and people seem to take from facts what they want to take from facts, right? You could throw facts out there, and one side's going to read one thing into it, and one side is going to read the other into it. We're just going to kind of report on it. We'll interject some opinions here and there, you know, especially when it comes to Anime News Network, because we're not fans, and apparently the advertisers aren't either, because they're begging for money. So, and we'll go from there. But thanks so much for watching Clownfish TV. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, rants, gaming videos, arting videos, and more. This has been Neon. I'll talk to you later. Hey guys, thanks for watching Clownfish TV. Please consider supporting the channel. Go to clownfishsupport.com. That's clownfishsupport.com. And if you want to join our community, go to clownfishtalk.com. That's clownfishtalk.com. Please subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. We will talk to you next time.